Hello and welcome to the third episode of Noise Kitchen Studios. It is I, your host, Jason, and today we're working on vocals. Main vocals, background vocals, gang vocals, guest vocals. Vocals. There's an all-in sale on vocals and we're selling them all out, baby. This is the second episode in this particular song mixing series. First one dealt with guitars. The previous video, you should see it on the channel. Everything here in red were the guitars. A lot of guitars. It was a fun time. Long video. A monolithic block of YouTube content, you might say. But it was fun. I enjoyed the challenge. I'm liking the way they're going. And yeah, that's really about it. I'm excited. Love mixing vocals. Still my favorite part about making music and working on music. But if this is your first time here, please give me a subscribe and also like the video and check out the other videos on here. 2 so far, many more to come, not just mixing related, also stuff dealing with music production. But for now, we're doing vocals, baby. Let's get it. I think I'm getting better at the YouTube intros. That one felt pretty hype. So, all right, enough of that. In the previous video, I went really in depth on my strategic planning of getting all of these guitars to work in kind of the far pan area just because there's so many vocals. If there was half as much content in this song, I wouldn't have spent so much time just like eking out every inch in the far like stereo band I could get, but I had to because there's a lot of vocals. There's so many vocals. And I know I'm making it sound dramatic, but it's a lot of vocals. It's going to take a lot of work. And so the best way I think to go about this is to start with the background vocals. And the background vocals and the gang vocals, what are the difference between the two? I talked a little bit about gang vocals and background vocals in the first video on this channel, which was about the first song on this album, The Derelict. And to me, I always think about background versus gang vocals as like background vocals are just meant to be like accompanying versions of myself singing. Like if you can imagine like a harmony of Jason's talking at the same time, backing up what I'm saying. Gang vocals are meant to mimic like a orchestral, like a big room of just people shouting in the background. A lot of good examples of this like gang vocal thing on something like Bright Eyes albums. There's a lot of Bright Eyes influence on this album, so you can hear a lot of that there too. I think about a lot of gang vocals back on like old Motown songs too. A lot of like, well, background gang vocals in that context would be like whenever there were like an accompanying harmony of people backing somebody up like that, like in a lot of those old Stevie Wonder songs. But generally speaking, I think of background vocals as being just like meant to accompany the main vocal. Gang vocals are meant to be just like an element in the background supporting everything else. One's an element of the song, one's an element of the voice. It's a really pedantic kind of thing to talk about, but I think as we go along, you'll start to get a better feel of what I mean by gang versus background. But we're going to start with the background vocals, I think. And once we work the background vocals in, we'll work on the gang vocals after that. Same process as last time, trying to be strategic, bit by bit, working it in. Just because at this point, I hope I've done enough work to give myself enough space in the mid-range, not mid-range, well, kind of mid-range of the EQ, but mid-range in terms of the stereo field to get all this to fit. One final piece of pre-chat. I just wanted to say prior to starting this new video, I made a few changes. I rendered down all of these guitar tracks so I don't have any like errant plugins still taking up bandwidth. This is something I do just because it's I'm doing this for fun. I'm not waiting on any mix notes. You know, this computer is pretty beefy. It's like a 2024, maybe 23 MacBook, Mac Mini. But I grew up just cooking on a 2012 MacBook Pro, so old habits die hard. I'm always trying to make sure I'm saving as much processing space as I can. If you're working on an actual project for a client, you might not want to do that. You never know what someone's going to make a note of and what you change in a mix. So, you know, you might want to like make a save as before you render down tracks. Let's assume that your computer's slow, whose isn't at some point in their life, and like you could do a save as prior to rendering this, so you could go back to this on a later date, something like that. Although you would run into a conflict of if you then proceeded to do more work with the vocals. But for the sake of argument, I just rendered all these down because I didn't want to deal with it. Also, I took away all of the automation on the mix buses because half the time I don't know what any of it was doing. And I'm probably going to write all of it again anyway to match what's going on now. There's a little bit of a volume bump on the stereo bus that basically revolves around an old trick I always think about where you give yourself an octave boost during the choruses. Keep it at -1 throughout the song. Chorus comes bumping up, just give it some punch, give it some hype. Old pop music trick taught to me by my friend, but that's about it. So otherwise, that's the only like kind of pre-mixing I did. So, okay. Truthfully, I don't remember what any of these backing vocals sound like as a general idea. So we don't have anything in the beginning of the first verse. Everything pops off on the first chorus. So let's just start there. I also added the bass back in. So we have pretty much the whole song sans the background vocals. All of these different vocals, like there's a bunch here, there's a bunch down here, they'll all end up getting burned down into a single track, but we'll just take it one group at a time. I feel like I must be nervous and I'm talking out of doing this right now. So let's just dive in. Let's just get to it. This is Welcome to the Terror Dome.
Like angels, only angels in her arm. Like strangers, only partners playing part.
They're super quiet. My bad. You know, one thing I can say is that I thought that the main vocal was too loud and too distorted before I started to bring these vocals in. And I was thinking like maybe I should go back and turn the distortion down. I think it's probably good. That's what I was trying to get at with like the dangers of making changes without context. I was like, oh, this main vocal is so loud and distorted. But I was like, it's probably that way for a reason. So let's start with just taking these vocals into solo, put them back at unity, and just splay them out. Let me see. They're all at different spots, I can tell. Oh, no, they're not. Okay, they're good. And let's see. They were originally panned too far out. So these 50 plus, -50, that was like the guitar area. So let's start bringing them back towards the middle, and we'll just go from there. The vocals themselves, we're going to make pairs out of them. My old favorite phrase I keep using. What the vocals are specifically, I'm not really too sure, but we'll just kind of put them all in the same area and see what they do.
Like angels, only angels in her art.
Loud. Very loud.
Like angels, only angels in her art.
Ooh, boy. Loud. That's all right. No big deal. Let's turn them down. Okay, start at -12. Yeah, there we go.
Like angels, only angels in.
Damn, it's still loud. Okay, let me sure I did them all. Yeah, they're so loud. Holy shit. This album is so loud, man. I can't even get over it. That's fine. I always it's rock and roll, baby. You want it to be loud. I never really get too butthurt about things being recorded too loud. If they're clipping. Ideally avoid clipping on the way in. Who knows what was going on with their recorded, but I'm just trying to get them in a usable range, and that's always easiest done by messing with clip gain. So
like angels, only angels in her art.
That's fine. Yeah. All right. Context.
Like angels, only angels in her art.
Now they're too quiet. So now we'll just start popping them up.
Like angels, only angels in her art. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene gaining on the flare of sounds with a flame are gaining on the air. Like angels, only angels in her art. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene.
Yeah, just like that. You hear the foot tap, trying to keep time with the song.
Like angels, only angels in her art.
Okay. Yeah, and you know what I mean? Like they're background vocals, right? So they're not meant to be. This is always like a conflict in music sometimes with recording where it's like you have background vocals, and if you're not careful, they end up foreground vocals. And, you know, sometimes that's cool, but when I imagine background vocals in this context being like, I just want them to be like a layer that you feel more than you hear. So that's what we're going to make them. And the foot tap thing, I don't want to be there. In general, what let's do is just do a high pass filter and everything, and then render them at 100 hertz. 100 hertz is always like my go-to frequency for, I just want to take out room noise, like floor noise or whatever. Usually cuts out all the low end. So we'll take those, just duplicate all of these. I think we got down to 5. Yeah.
Like angels, only angels in her iron.
Let's bring them in closer, actually. We'll start our pairs at 25. 25. Let's put them all the same spot. They're an odd number, which is going to drive me crazy. They're not even, but that's fine. We'll let's let that lie.
Like angels, only angels in her iron. Like strangers, only partners play.
Yeah, okay, we're off to a good start. I'm going to render these and we will continue on after. And we're moving along. We'll go back and do all the super cool vocal tricks and whatnot once everything gets rendered down into their correct pairs. So moving on, we got this set, which is labeled as bridge, but it shows up in the bridge, but there's some verse there too. That's all right. That's no big deal. And then there's some chorus as well. So let's bring them in, and we'll just kind of bring these up to Unity. Get rid of this doodad over there. What we got? They're paced off in some wild locations. We'll set them to like 35. I'm already running into. I guess I should think about where should I set the point that nothing's paired out further than let's see, stereo talk. Let me check. I don't think any of the electrics went past 45 on the grid. Oh, I rendered them all. I guess I don't know where they were at. Let's assume they were at 45. I'm using numerical values to try to think about like where because the gang vocals will end up out further than the background vocals. I'm trying to think in my head like 45 to like 30 for the gang. Like that will leave me enough room in the stereo band. So I guess in terms of the BVGs, we should think about it being like 25 and in is about it. That's what I'm going with. So that case, let's just set these dudes, where they at? I'm losing track already. These dudes, these bridge, we'll set them to like 15. I don't know. Try that. See what happens. See what we got. They're little dudes. Nothing crazy, but let me see. Boom.
Distill my hate inside of a bed.
Going.
Distill my hate inside of a bed.
Okay, cool. I guess we can. Yeah, okay. Well, I got it. Since there's nothing else going on, we'll put them back in the same pan space as the vocals as rendered. I was thinking that there were like BVGs walking over top of it, but we can use the same space. They're too loud too, but that's no big. My definition for what I mean by it's too loud is like anytime the thing that's meant to be the background element is blowing out the main element, it's too loud. So that's what I'm trying to get at. What was that, -10 last time? That should be good. Let's see. Can you even hear him? Too quiet. It's a fine line. Mixing off of volume. It's a lot more precise. I think it's 6. There it is. Let's pan him out a little further though. Plus 35 and -35. There they are. They can come a little louder though too. So go back to this. I guess -3. Fuck it. I'll take it. And just for the sake of argument, let's make all of these -3 and see if they just vibe. In best case, they'll vibe in the same location too. Not sure what these breath bridge vocals are. I don't know. Those are down the road. So yeah, let's see. Oh, I guess for context too, main vocals up here in teal, and these are sky blue. I never know what. I always end up with so many shades of blue working on vocals, like songs with vocals, musicians with vocals, because musicians love to make 10,000 vocal takes. Let them. Michael Jackson did it. What can I say? But I always start running out of colors of blue. So should the prettiest color of blue be the main vocal, or should the darkest color of blue be the main vocal? I don't know. These are autistic color coordination problems I deal with, and if you don't, consider yourself lucky.
Still my head in the side of the bed. As a dichotomy I feel great. Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin.
Zach did a really good job on these backing vocals, though. They got just like a lot of I'm not sure what was in the vocal chain when he printed them last time, but just listen to them in the context. They got plenty of just like distortion. They're compressed. They don't need much.
Harrowing of hell.
Yeah, and I guess I should let's see. I'll move my face when I go over the bus system I've been putting up and down. But just know that the main vocals going through a bus, the BVGs, these are going through a bus, the gang vocals are going through a bus. That's basically it. And on the BVG bus, there's absolutely nothing. Just like a 3 dB cut and EQ just sloping off at like 100 hertz. So there you go. Nothing much. We're going to add a lot. I got a cool new plugin I'm really excited to play around with on this song, but we'll get to that later. So I'll shut up. Oh, the choo-choo's here. Big choo-choo's here. That's my cue to take a break. BRB. Oh, right. The train is gone off to work on its night moves. Trying to lose this awkward teenage blues. Let's play through the bridge. I think we're good. We're getting there.
Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin.
Okay, these can come up too, actually. I was under the impression there were a lot more gang vocals than there are. I thought there were gang vocals all throughout the song, but that's not really the case. They come in the last choruses. They probably should. But I mean, I don't know. I like these little background vocals we're currently working on. I think they really got some vibe to them. So we're gonna turn them up. They're -3 here, they're -1 here. It's 2 dB jump, but there's like more. I want pop. I like them.
Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin. I've got desires and wishes against guilty ghosts. In the name of science.
Cool. Perfect. And this is happening in the chorus.
Like angels or angels in her. Like strangers only partners playing.
Those were really loud previously, so turn them about -3.
Like angels or angels in her.
Shit, I want them on the right. Okay, fuck. Let me move them. I just want them on the right. I can just tell they'll be better on the right. So I'll just basically move them down to the next channel. Easy money. Snaps off. Turn my snap off. How's that happen? That's what these do. Yeah, there we go. You can automate how the snap function works in Logic. All that means is when you're dragging a piece of audio, if you want to snap into a marker, not snap into a marker, you can modulate that there. I'm just going to move these to the right-hand side because it's the easiest thing to do. That's it. Little moves. It feels like a little moves kind of night. Nothing wild's going to go down. Fingers crossed. Okay. So same thing, but I just moved it to the right channel. Is this mirrored? I always forget. I think it's mirrored. So let's shoot through this right channel though.
Like angels in her.
Perfect. Mirrored in terms of like the video is what I mean. I wonder if I could turn it around whenever I print the video. I'll look at that. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. This is actually going good. I don't think this is going to be 3 hours long. I really don't. I think the effort I put in the guitars is really going to pay off. So I'm going to render these and we're going to move on to bridge, breath, vocal. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Moving on. Bridge, breath, vocals. Render these right here. So we got chorus 1, first things we did tonight. BVG 2, second thing. Now on to bridge, breath, vocals. I don't know what those are. I really don't.
Harrowing of hell inside of the heroine.
They're breathy. So let's, same thing, pan too far as before, but we'll split these back. Thankfully, they're an even pair, so it's not going to drive me crazy. 25, 25. These could use some reverb actually, but we'll come back to that. I'm just concerned about getting all of these kind of put into smaller groups of files, smaller batches of stuff to work with.
I've got desires and wishes against.
Okay, that's cool. I'll turn these up a bit too, because these will kind of be underneath this bridge vocal we just did, just a little bit. What are these at? -5, -2.5.
Harrowing of hell inside of the heroine.
There's one a little too much of that. I think it's on the far left. Let's deal with that. I can probably solve these with some high pass.
Harrowing of hell.
Yeah, probably. Okay, that would be these gains right here. Same as before, just gonna take a cut. So a cut at 100 hertz should take out the. I won't do it again, but the pop thing going on. I put a pop filter over this this is something I affectionately call a mic condom, just something to help with plosives. I really try not to. I noticed in the last video I was popping my P's a little bit, and I was like, oh, I hate when people do that, so I'll try to avoid it. But these are useful on condensers, even used in conjunction with an actual pop filter, just to further diminish sibilance and also pop effects. I promise. I'm trying to stop that. Okay. We just put the same trick as before. We just put a cut on it. See if it gets rid of the popping effect that you'll hear in the left-hand channel. There's a little too much of just that popping effect that never sounds good. Gotta get rid of that shit.
Inside of the heroine.
See if I actually did my job.
Harrowing of hell.
It's a little there still, but the actual weight of the plosive has been removed, and that's all I want.
I feel great. Harrowing of hell inside of the heroine. I've got desires and wishes against guilty ghosts. In the name of science, let's let Adam and Eve go.
Cool, excellent. I'll render these down and be right back. And we keep on keeping on. So next up, gang vocals, group 1, chorus. The gang vocals seem to all just function along the same lines. I'm gonna clean them up. All the volumes are all over the place. Okay, let us set those back. Call it -6. Oh boy. I always want to get my pairs sitting right. But the panning's absolutely shit on them. Yep, they are. Let us. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Even amount. Sweet. Okay, so we'll just go -45. What did I say? -35, right. We'll start there. Maybe -40. Look at -40. I'm being real dramatic about this pan law thing. But I think I got PTSD from the last time I tried to mix this song. This just really gets at like. But I'm happy to say that it's coming together. I really can't stress it enough. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Positive 40. Positive like my attitude. Positive 40. Gang vocal 5. I'm losing track. Is this the last one? Positive 40. These are gang. We'll turn these down. These are more gang vocals, kind of in the latter half of the song. I might call them final chorus. Okay. Cool.
Like angels, solely angels, like.
Oh, there's reverb on it already. I forgot about that. We're gonna get rid of that too. There was a verb suite. This is a Slate plugin, Old Faithful for me, one of my favorite reverb plugins that I got. Used it a million times. We're gonna throw it in the trash can though, because I just want to strip it all back. What did that do? That's some weird shit. I like the gang vocals. I should mention that. I like them. I really do.
Like angels, solely angels, like strangers, only partners playing for.
I was harping on how this song just has a certain Motown characteristic to it that sometimes Marvel songs do have. And even these backing vocals, to me, in my head, they sound like the way they're dry. Obviously, there's no reverb on them, but there's just like this real kind of like tonality about the things that were recorded at Motown Studios. It's like it's a specific kind of distortion that, like, if you go listen to like Ain't No Mountain High Enough, one of my favorite songs ever recorded, that song really embodies that kind of sound. And for whatever reason, these have that kind of, I don't know how to explain it, salt and pepper kind of like distortion thing to it. So we're gonna lean into that later on.
Mary Magdalene getting on the flare, silence with a fame and getting on the air.
Okay, let's do them in context. Might need to come up some.
Like angels, only angels in her.
Ooh, we're cooking, baby. I'm feeling good. Oh yeah, I'm feeling good.
Like angels, only angels in her. Like strangers, only partners playing parts.
Same problem I had last time, where this main background vocal was getting lost in the gang vocals, but that's small potatoes. Let's pan these out a little further though. Negative 45. Give it a little more room. Negative 45. Track 4. Track 5. Same as before. Even pairs, same side. I'm not saying I don't always occasionally put pairs of things not the same, like opposite pan law, but I'm feeling like keeping it real by the books these days in terms of mixing. If I'm going to do a mix channel, you gotta crawl before you walk, even if you've done this before. So I'm really wanting to start off, but by all means, you can pan things however the fuck you want. You don't gotta be like even about everything. It's just maybe if you're starting out, do it that way. But maybe don't. But maybe start that way. Maybe start with like doing it real by the books, and then after a while go crazy. But I don't know. I like everything nice and orderly, I will admit. But hey, who knows? Next song, I'll challenge myself to put the pairs not even distances, just to show that there are no rules in this. All that matters is that, does the song make you feel something? Well, whatever process got you there, that was the right process. Everything else is just recommendations, you might say.
Like angels, only angels in her. Like strangers, only partners playing parts.
And sure enough, with these decisions I've been making along the way, from the guitars to these vocals, eventually we get to the drums. The drums are mostly there, but every decision I've been trying to make with this song from the get-go, I'm just trying to like eke out every piece of emotion I can. Like in the decisions I've been making along the way in this mix, from taking 3 hours to eke out, making sure the guitars have their own space, it's all just been an attempt to make more room for the emotion of the song. All the problems the songs may have had originally, whatever you might call them, not to say that there are problems. Like I said, I'm not trying to talk shit about someone else's hard work, because I'm sure Zach put a buck ton of work into mixing the album, but we're just trying to get as much emotion out. It's like a sponge, and you're trying to squeeze it until every ounce of like tear comes out. That's all mixing is. That's all it ever has been. All it ever will be. It's just the attempt to put all the faders up as high as you can on whatever the emotion of the song is. That's what a good mix is to me. I don't care what it sounds like. I just care what makes me feel. So these are good. These are good. I think we can print them. Let me go to the verses too. I should actually do my job.
And what did it claim? Until I hid inside the bed. As a dichotomy, I feel great.
Cool.
The name of science, let's let Adam and Eve go. Like angels, only angels.
Good low in there. Damn. When the bass comes in, it sounds like it's got the weight.
Like angels, only angles in her art. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene gaining on the flare, sounds with a flame are gaining on the air. Like angels, only angles in her art. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare, sounds with a flame are gaining on the air.
Cool. That's good. That's good. I'm going to render these down, and then we're going to finally find out what were revocal. I don't know. I never listened to them. I turned them down and I gave up. So we're going to print these, come back, work on those. Then we'll go through and work on these guys right here, which are essentially just final vocal stuff. So I brought my revocals into the folder right here. Just drop them in. They're clearly meant for the final chorus, so they're probably just extra final chorus vocals. Let's tighten them up a little bit. Let me see. Just drop a little dude right here so I can get rid of all this unnecessary dead air. They're all turned off. Gotta solo them. -3. I think they're panned real weird when I let them. Yeah, they're all like super far. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Odd number of vocals. Jason does not like odd numbers of pairs. All right, but let's go -35. Blah, da 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 da, and then we'll go ba +35. Are they even over? I'm wrong. I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it's right. Okay. See what they are. Drum roll, please.
Like angels, I bleed water. Like strangers in the garden.
Okay. They're screams, essentially, and incredibly loud ones. Makes sense that they're in the last chorus, though. They're meant to be like balls to the wall.
Like angels, I bleed water. Like strangers, like angels, I bleed water.
They're tight. I have an idea for these involving a plugin called the Devil Lock. I mean, they're like kind of devil vocals or whatever, but the Devil Lock's a really cool plugin. But let's play them in context. Kind of hear them. Turn them up a bit. -6. Are they out of time with the song? Let's check them against the vocals. They're definitely meant to be like a bit of a call and response, so there's a delay in the delivery, but I gotta see if they're like off the beat.
Like angels,
A little bit. I might want to punch them forward. See how they fall in line with the drums.
like angels.
Yeah, they're a little off. Let's have them. I'm not sure if they were off. God only knows how they ended up off. I kind of moved them by accident. But let's have them come in on the 1.
Like angels.
That like downbeat.
Like
Right there. Let's see. Well, let me think about this.
angels.
They're kind of in time with themselves. I don't think that's the problem. It's just they're little. I see what was being going for, but I want them tighter with the song. So let me find where my beat's at.
Like angels.
Right here. It's that hi-hat ride 2 that I'm using as a marker. Oh shit. A lot of this kind of stuff you just gotta eyeball till it feels good. Try this.
Like angels.
Now. Turn off smart snap. It's just fucking me up.
Like
Okay, so let's move these a little bit.
angels.
I don't know. They may have been intentionally where they're supposed to be at. It just feels a little weird.
Like angels.
Yeah, they got a pocket there. They do have a pocket. They must be exactly as they were intended to be. So I guess, like, I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna roll with it. Song and context. Let's see. Give some headroom or back up.
Like angels. Like strangers.
Okay. I can work with that. They need to be turned down though. Like if they're too present, they kind of throw the groove off. I think this is why I turned them off last time. I was probably, oh shit, I don't want to deal with this. No, what's going on? Function as I set, please. -9.
Like angels. Like strangers.
This one's gonna be tricky. I can admit. I'm gonna have to find a. I'm gonna have to kind of really mess with them to get them to sit in the context of what's going on. The context of which we came. Was that the line?
Like angels. Like strangers. Only find us playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting the first time for the favorite game.
I like the idea. I don't like how it's throwing the groove off. Let me see. I gotta get them like as quiet as I possibly can, but still hear them. Cause like I can do some stuff to like kind of not reamp, but like automate the volumes of the other parts of the songs to make it work. The main vocal will need to come up. It should anyways, the final vocal, but.
Like angels. Like strangers. Only find us playing.
Let me do that now, because even my ear is getting drawn to them instead of the main vocal. But I think if I can trick myself where my ears will just automatically cue back to the main vocal, it'll follow the groove of the main vocal, and then it'll pick up as those as the call and response. We're playing head games here, basically. We're playing groove head games, but sometimes that's what it is. So I'm turning these vocals, turn the vocals up where this part's at. So yeah, let's play it.
Like angels. Like strangers. Only find us playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting the first time for the favorite game on the air.
It wants to work. It's in the ballpark. It really is. Let me see if I can I turn them down any more without them like disappearing. I don't want to have to pull out the special tricks until I get it with volume and panning right.
Like angels. Like strangers. Only find us playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting the first
can make this work. I really can.
Like angels, angels in her heart. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the floor, songs with a favorite getting on the air.
Okay, I'm gonna roll with that. It's doable. It was done before. It's gonna take a lot of like. This is. I'll be candid. This is one of the most crazy final choruses I've ever dealt with in my entire life, my entire mixing career. Happy to be of assistance to it, but this one's buck wild. But we can get there. It's easier to show than try to explain now, but we can get there. So I'm just gonna print these because they sound good how they are. And then we'll work on these errant stuff here at the end next to, I'll print these and be right back. Okay, I named them GV Scream, all caps, exclamation points, because they definitely do be screaming. Lastly, we got more gang vocals, and we're just let's start, as we always do, by organizing them by what I imagine are pairs. These are ending song pairs. There's actually more vocals after this, even still. We'll get to those. Those will be more vocals. So yeah, let's start with these right here. Solo them. Bring them up here. Let's see what's going on. Oh, they're not equal. Let's try that. Let's try this again. Make them. There we go.
Mary Magdalene getting on the flare of sounds with the favorite getting on the air. Like angels, only angels in her heart. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare. Heart. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare.
There's a guest vocal in this song, and I gotta leave some space for it around like 11 o'clock if you're looking at a watch, and I gotta keep that one in mind too.
Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare of sounds with a favorite heart. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare of sounds with a favorite heart. Like strangers, only partners playing parts.
Actually, let's make these two here on the same side, because they're just like, they come in for a second. Those are there.
Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare of sounds with a favorite heart. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare.
Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. What did I do? Wrong Command Z, Mr. Eckert. Please back here. There can be a sense of claustrophobia that comes in when you're working on music and you're trying to like balance layers against layers. I feel it sometimes. I feel it right now, actually. I feel like the inundation of sound closing in around me, trying to find the balance there, and it's a weird feeling. I'm a very claustrophobic person by nature. Sometimes you have to lean into even that feeling. That's the intent of this song. It's like so many vocals are going on. You're trying to find the balance. So I think this is good. The way we're going to differentiate all these vocal layers when it gets to it is through filtering, essentially. But right now, I'm just trying to get them to work out in the spaces they need to be which, what if we sent these out further? Let's try this. Let's try, because I had them real close to high noon, but let's try doing the opposite. So let's go real far out. The name of the game with this song is trying not to bunch up the mid stereo spread. I feel like I've been fighting against it this entire time, be it with guitars, vocals. Now the bass and the drums are fine, they're really carrying the groove, but the other elements, it's like he's really, because you just want to send him straight down the middle, right? You just really want to do that, but there's so much stuff. If you start doing that, you're just gonna shoot yourself right in the foot one more time. That's better.
Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the.
Oh, sorry. I'm trying. So these are our current 2 gang vocal categories. These are the ones we're working on. Let's see if we'll mute them. We'll bring them in. We'll see if they're having any kind of effect.
Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare of Sodoms with a favorite heart. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare of Sodoms with a favorite heart. Like strangers, only partners playing.
Yeah. Oh, let me make sure they're color coded. Oh, let's try fading them in then. We'll try that route.
Like strangers, only partners in their cards. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare of songs with a favorite blue heart.
Okay, even I'm having to like contextualize my mind to hear where they're at versus the other things. You have to do that a lot in mixing, I feel like, where if you bring something in and try to match it against the other sources, you're like, am I hearing it or am I not hearing it? And for me, the trick I always do is I take it out, fade it in a little bit, and then your ears sort of pick up like, what am I, like, where is it at? What am I hearing? Where does it need to be? That kind of stuff. So I'll take them out again and we'll do this.
Like strangers, only partners in their cards. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare of songs with a favorite blue heart. Like strangers, only partners in their cards. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare of songs with a favorite heart.
There's a particular, where am I hearing this? Where's it at?
Like strangers, only partners in their cards. Mary Magdalene.
There it is. Okay, I was hearing that counter lyric, that "I brought you" part. I couldn't tell where it was coming from. All right, bring back in the background vocals.
Like strangers, only partners in their cards. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare of Sodoms with a favorite.
Okay, I'm feeling it. Let's it's context time. Let's take this all the way back to the turn, and we're gonna play through the chorus.
Angels, only angels in her art. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare of sounds with a favorite getting on the air. Like angels, only angels in her heart. Like strange.
Oh, sorry, I forgot about these two. These are LCR. Oh, big choo-choo. Big choo-choo time. Let's take a break. I need a break. Holy shit. Okay, we're back. The train is gone. On to its next journey. Let us play it back. Turn, chorus to outro, and here what we got. Yeah.
Angels, only angels in her art. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare of sounds with a famer getting on the air. Like angels, angels in her heart. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the floor. Sounds of the favor getting on the air. Go make good what I've said by lying in some stranger's bed.
Cool. Okay. The two most important tools in mixing and making music have nothing to do with software or technology. Number one is taking breaks. Number two, listening with your eyes closed. I'll talk about the second one further down the road and its importance, but I was taking a break because Big Choo Choo came through, and I realized, like, well, the reason why these vocal layers are getting all real blended together is because they're all done with the same mic. You know, you usually have one mic. Nothing wrong with having one mic. I got one mic. I got other mics, but work with me. And the key to getting these mini vocal layers to stick out will be just using tools to make it sound like they were recorded with different mics, making them different flavors. But we'll get there later on, not tonight. I am going to print these down, and I'm going to print this final layer. These last vocals at the end are really cool, actually. I want to make those really impactful, and that'll be an easy mix because it's the end of the song. So I'm going to, what time is it? I think I'm done. I'm going to print these down to the final layer, print these down at the end, and then we'll pick back up on this tomorrow. And yeah, that's about it. Bienvenue. It's daytime Noise Kitchen Studios, morning time Noise Kitchen Studios. I like doing these during the day when I can. I feel like I'm way more with it, but I can make time for either one. Let's see. We got all of our vocals printed down. Went back and listened to the mix again, and I'm liking where it's going. When in doubt, sleep over, have a night off from the mix, come back and see if it sounds as bad as you thought it did. And it usually does not. It usually sounds good. So we have one final group of vocals we need to deal with, and these are technically, they are muted. Let me see, where are they muted? What's going on? Oh, the whole bus is muted, my bad. They are guest vocals from an old friend of ours named Kim. They show up in the bridge and they show up in the final chorus. We'll deal with the final chorus ones later. Let me give you some context as to what these are about. There we go. I should hear them. Let's just play it.
Heroin of hell inside of the heroin. Inside my head. I've got desires and wishes against guilty ghosts.
It's a call and response, basically, and it's got some verb on it that I don't like. Where's the verb at? Had this guy on it, a little play. I'm gonna get rid of that. And we're gonna have these just live in their own little corner at like 10 o'clock in this song. And I'll end up making these down here in the same spot. But for now, let's just see what these need. They look like they need volume.
Heroin of hell inside of the heroin. There's no blood left inside my head. Don't worry, only water was bled.
That's about it. Let's turn, it's a double sax song at 2, and let's turn those down. We want to make Kim's vocals the spotlight of this part.
Heroin of hell inside of the heroin. Inside my head.
More, like 3 dB.
Heroin inside my head.
Yeah, we can work with that. They just need to be brightened a little bit, nothing wild. And then let's see what these are down here. I'll put them all in the same spot. Just had a habit in -25. Put them all on the same side. Oh, not that.
Like angels, I bleed water. Like strangers in the garden.
Oh, they're a double for that other backing vocal. Okay, it all makes sense now.
Like
That means the timing of it was right, and I was just trying to make it wrong, so glad I didn't do that.
Like angels, I bleed water. Like strangers in the garden.
Okay, that was a duet. You can tell two people were singing in the same microphone.
Like angels, I bleed water. Like strangers in the garden.
And let's see, let me give you the vocal that is paired to, is it Scream, this one.
Like angels, I bleed water. Like strangers in.
Cool. Okay, so it all makes sense now. I was just making a big fuss out of nothing. A fuss out of nothing. Oh God, what is going on? I got this new USB hub for this computer because I got a bunch of things that got to stick. And I used to have like a hub powering another hub. It was ghetto, man. But I got this new one, but it's kind of doing some weird stuff with my keyboard. Like it takes a couple minutes for it to understand what's going on. I don't know, it was on sale, but it works. But it's just like, I think things are like flashing through solo on, solo off mode. Also, it's really fucking cold here in North Carolina. I don't actually have the heating on. I just run a little space heater usually. Not when I'm doing these vocals, or these vocals for this video, but it's just kind of like what the fuck, but it'll be okay. So this is all fine. I'm going to print these down. I'll print them all down to one file. And that's it for the vocals. After that, we can actually get into the nuts and the bolts of it. But we've gone from a bunch of tracks to just main 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7. 7's cool. 7 things is good. So I'm going to print these BRB. All right, we're back. I put the jean jacket on. 1, because it's cold. 2, I wanted to look cool. Jack Joseph Puig is a pretty famous guy in the world of music production. He's an interesting cat, but he's got a lot of really good advice that I've taken over the years. And one of those things is that sometimes when you're mixing a song, you gotta feel cool. Like maybe some songs might require you to put a suit on. Like you're having trouble mixing a song, get out your jammies, put a suit and tie on. Maybe the mix will be better. It's something he talked about doing one time. I think it was on like a John Mayer song or something. I fucking love JJP. Intimidating guy, but he really has some good advice that I'll try to depart into this YouTube channel as time goes on. Okay, so we got everything printed. We're good. And now we're going to pretend like none of it exists. We're going back to the main vocal. I was listening back to the mix and I realized that the vocal is a little too loud in some places, a little too quiet in others. And I have a tool for that too. And this is a really cool tool. And it's a very simple tool and every DAW has it. Where is it at? Right here. VCA, voltage controlled amplifier. So what a VCA is essentially a separate volume knob for a channel. But the difference is that, if you think about the things that are on this main vocal channel, if you adjust the main output, this knob right here, you're going to be messing with the balance between the gain as it relates to those plugins. Plugins do react to gain. That's what they're designed to do. The ones that model old analog equipment especially. But what a VCA allows you to do is to control volume without having to mess with any of that. You can make a VCA for anything. You make a VCA for a bus if you want. If you like the way the bus sounds, but you just want to mess with the volume of that, you can make a VCA for that. I think I made a bunch of VCAs out of this. I got one for the Kim's vocals, the Gangs, the BVGs. We might play around with those. I don't really always go for VCAs on things except for vocals because it's like I got the balance dialed in. Ideally, I always like to try to get the balance at unity. The idea of you pull the faders up and you hear the song. But what I want to do is just go through and re-automate this VCA, which is right here. I had done some work to it originally I was looking at. I'm just going to go back and redo it. And after that, we can finally fuck around with some plugins and have some fun. But one last little bit of technical stuff must occur. So and I think it sounds, let's see, we'll start at -3. I think it's going to be good through most of the song until the final chorus where it has to get loud. Okay, I'll spin it along, save some time.
and changing what they hang. The plant they hate the South can finally make good on what it claimed. A simmer and a thought of what was angst. A beauty
Okay, that's fine. Let's see about the chorus.
like angels.
Okay, can come up. Easy. We'll just do like 1.5 dB. Nothing wild. Just needs a little pop up over the top. You're trying to get there's so much going on in the song. You're just trying to get the vocal above the traffic, you know, keep it above the wave, like it's a surfer. It's surfing over the sound. All right, let me get ready.
Like angels, only angles in her arm. Like strangers, only partners play parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare. Asylums with a flame are getting on the air. Teasing days and who was made lame. The weed that ate the ground can finally make good on what it claimed. And what did it claim?
Oh, actually, you can go up in the second half of this chorus, verse.
Days and who was made lame. The weed that ate the ground can finally make good on what it claimed. And what did it claim? To my head and the side of the bed. As a dichotomy I feel great. Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin. I got desires and wishes against guilty ghosts. In the name of science, let's let Adam and Eve go. Like angels, only angles in her arm. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene gaining on the flare. Asylums with a flame are gaining on the air. Like angels, only angles in her heart. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare. Sounds with a favor getting on the air. Go make grown what I've said. By lying in some stranger's bed.
Easy money. And the reason I want to do that with the lead vocal is I want to know what I'm aiming for to get everything else to sit against. Like if I don't know where the main vocal is going to finally sit in the mix, I'm going to have a much harder time getting these other vocals to balance against it. If I can't trust, like, this is my marker, everything else I'm trying to build towards it. That's basically it. And that's about it. So cool. Excellent. Fun time. Let's have some fun finally. Okay. One final thing about VCAs I forgot to remember. I tend to use them more if the song's really complicated. I forgot about that. If it's like 4 or 5 tracks in a song or something, I'm probably not going to really need to use a VCA. If there's 100 tracks, VCAs are a lifesaver. So, you know, as time goes on in this project, I'm sure I'll whip them out again. Okay, so finally, let's have some fun. Let's do what everybody loves to do, which is play around with plugins. First, what is on the main vocal bus of this song? I have no idea. Let me find it first. All right, main vocal bus, right? Yeah. Where is it? Triple check.
Can finally make good.
Okay, perfect. What's on it? Nothing really. The most like kid gloved EQ you could possibly have. So that's that. I want to use a plugin. I bought a plugin. I bought it a couple days ago, and I've never used it. I got it from Universal Audio. I bought it because they've given me so many free plugins that I love. I truly feel like I owe them money. So this is a plugin that models the acoustics of Sound City Studios in Los Angeles. And I'm not even sure if Sound City's still open. There's a documentary made about it a while back with the Foo Fighters about it's a very famous studio. What was recorded there? So much shit. A couple System of a Down albums were. Fleetwood Mac's. I don't think was it Rumors that was recorded there. I think Rumors was recorded there, and Tusk was recorded somewhere else. I swear, I thought At the Drive-In album was recorded there. A couple Rage albums, maybe. You can Google it. There's just so much like important music, important 20th century American music that was recorded in that studio. And there's a bunch of shit in this program, in this plugin. I'm not really going to go too much into it right now because honestly, I have yet to open it. I'm trying to get it to go to the vocal setting. I just want to do that. You got to click on it. So there's two different things this plugin does. One is this remic thing where it essentially completely 100% wets whatever the source audio is into the rooms. I don't want that. This song was recorded live somewhere and it sounds cool as it is, but what I'm going to use instead is the reverb setting. This lets you actually wet dry blend between the room in the actual environment. So that's what I want to mess with. And this might not work at all. I don't know. Never use this plugin, but I'm excited to play around with it because I've been eyeballing it for a while. I really have. So I don't know. Let's just put it in solo and see what happens. Go from there. I'll start in bypass.
I'm seeing change in what they hang. The plant they ate the South can finally make good on what it claimed. A simmer and a thought of what was angst. Oh, beauty, come make good on what it claimed.
Ooh, maybe you can't wet dry it, actually.
I'm seeing change in what they hang. The plant they ate the South can finally make good on what it claimed.
It sounds cool, but I need it to be able to blend between the natural and the source. Maybe I had it backwards. Maybe the remic one.
I'm seeing change in what.
No, I had it right the first time.
I'm seeing change in what they hang. The plant they ate the South can finally make good on what it claimed.
Maybe it doesn't work like I thought it did. I could try some other stuff where I basically make a separate mix bus for it. I'm not sure if I really need to.
A simmer and a thought of what was angst. Oh, beauty, come make good on what it claimed. I'm seeing change in what they hang. The plant they ate the South can finally make good on what it claimed. A simmer and a thought of what was angst. Oh, beauty, come what it claimed. I'm seeing change in what they hang. The plant they ate the South can finally make.
Okay. It's pretty cool, but it's not going to work like I want it to work. But, I mean, I could play around with it. So what I would need to do instead is make another... There's a way to do this in Studio One that's easier. But what I would need to do is make another effects bus, especially for the vocals, which I don't mind doing. No big deal. Let me go do that. I'm going to go work on that real fast off camera. I'm sure you've read this process by now. It's just making another send. Actually, okay, I'll show you real fast how to do it. So main vocal here. To make a send, this is the quick rundown of how a channel strip works in Logic. This is where the main vocal is going to, bus number 3, which is the same one that had the plugin on right here. I had to name these manually. Long story. Next song, moving forward, the kind of mix layout's a little more unified. But anywho, for right here is where you select sends and then go down to bus. You gotta make your own. I could try that. Okay, I'm gonna go do that, and I'll do that off camera. BRB. Okie dokie, we're back. I got a bus made. It's right here, Sound City bus, and all I'm doing is feeding some input gain. I forgot, once you assign a bus, this little small like pan knob looking fader right here, that just controls the input gain to the send that you're going to. And And then the send itself is going back out to the main bus, the final stereo bus. Generally speaking, although you can do whatever you want with sends, you could have all of your sends going into another bus for more control. I don't usually get that complicated with it, but I usually just have my sends going back to the bus, bypassing the mix buses over here. I'm still saving my mix bus metaphor for later on, but just know that the sound from here is being sent partially to here, and then that's going to here, and then the main source of sound of audio from this track is going to the main bus vocal. So that's about it. Hope that made sense. Okay, here it is in context.
Changing what they hang, the plant they ate the South can finally make good on what hit.
It's a vibe. Okay, let's have some fun. Let's just play around with it.
And seeing changing what they hang, the plant they ate the South can finally make good on what it claimed. A simmer and I thought of what was ang.
Ooh, that's nice.
And seeing changing what they hang, the plant they ate the South can finally make good on what it claimed. A simmer and I thought of what was angst, a beauty.
Trying in context.
And seeing changing what they hang, the plant they ate the South can finally make good on what it claimed.
I like this plugin.
And seeing changing what they hang, the plant they ate the South can finally make good on what it claimed. A simmer and I thought of.
That's cool as shit. UAD 7.0, man. Everything I ever got from him, I absolutely love. This thing, the way I'm using it is just giving the main vocal a little more body room. There's not enough room in this song to go too super crazy with reverbs and whatnot, but this is exactly what I wanted for the main vocal. I just wanted to have a little more context, a little more body. It's subtle too, which is, I'm fine with that. I don't care if it's subtle. But I'll flip it off, flip it on, and we'll go to the chorus, see if it stands the test of the chorus.
And seeing changing what they hang, the plant they ate the South can finally make good on what it claimed.
That's close shit. When you turn it on, the vocal kind of takes a little bit of a step backwards in terms of the audio fields. Man, that's cool, dude. I'm glad it worked out. Okay, we'll play. I'm gonna keep playing around with this. It could be like an hour-long video of me just futzing around with this plugin, but let's go to the chorus.
Like angels, only angels in her arm. Like strangers, only partners playing cards. Mary Magdalene gaining on the flare, asylums with a vapor getting on the air.
Cool. Now let's dive a little deeper into this plugin. Let me play around with the chorus, and because there's a bunch of different like mics you can use. You have close mics, room mics. I like it a lot.
Like angels, only angels in her arm. Like strangers, only partners playing cards. Mary Magdalene gaining on the flare, asylums with a vapor getting on the air. Like angels, only angels in her arm. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene gaining on the flare, asylums with a vapor gaining on the air.
What's going on?
Like angels, only angels in her arm. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene gaining on the flare, asylums with a vapor getting on the air.
Doesn't really work when you have two microphones in context. It only really needs one.
Like angels, only.
That's what this is here. Close to second mic. The stereo thing is a little too much.
Like angels, only angels in her arm.
Speaking of reverb, though, let's see. Is that what this room mic is? That's why it's muted. All right, it's in the context. Here we go.
Like angels, only angels in her arm. like strangers, only partners.
Okay.
Like angels, only angels in her arm. Like strangers, only partners playing cards.
Turn out. So the room mic's essentially meant to mimic a microphone very far away from the audio source. Further back you put a microphone, the more room you get, essentially. And I kind of like this mic. Turn this on in the chorus, actually.
Like angels, only angels in her arm. Like strangers, only partners playing cards. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare. Asylums with a flamer getting on the air.
There's an argument for doing it both ways, though, because you might want the you might want the vocal to get more direct in the chorus. So let's try the inverse of that, just to play around with it. Room mic's muted on this plugin for the verse, and we'll turn it. Actually, sorry, scratch that. Room mic on for the verse. We'll turn it off for the chorus. See if that works.
See them changing what they hang. The plant they the South can finally make good on what it claimed. A simmer and a thought of what was angst. A beauty come make good on what it claimed. Like angels, only angels in her arm. Like strangers, only part.
Nah, it's too much. I think just this one mic on this one channel is all it needs. Just a little room.
And see them changing what they hang. The plant they the South can finally make good on what it claimed. A simmer and a thought of what was angst. A beauty come make good on what it claimed. Like angels, only angels in her arm. Like strangers, only partners playing cards. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare. Asylums with a flamer getting on the air.
Yeah. Maybe turn it down a little bit, though. Put -3. A little bit of a low mids build up, but I'm not bothered by it.
And see them changing what they hang. The plant they the South can finally make good on what it claimed. A simmer and a thought of what was angst. A beauty come make
Gives just a little bit of body to it.
good on what it claimed. Like angels, only angels in her arm. Like strangers, only partners playing cards. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare. Asylums with a flamer getting on the air. Teasing days and who was made lame. The we day the growl can finally make good on what it claimed. And what did it claim? Until I had him beside in a bed. Harrowing of hell. I desire.
I got one idea. What if we turned on the room mic during the turn in the outro? Maybe that could be cool. Because there's a quieter part of the song, it can get a little more stereo. All right, let's try that.
Adam and Eve go like angels, only angels in her arm.
I like that. Here it is again. It'll be muted and then drop in during the turn.
The name of science, let's let Adam and Eve go like angels, only angels like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare, sound to the fame and getting on the air. Getting on the air. Go make good what I've said. Go make good what I've said by lying in some stranger's bed.
That's cool as shit. Okay, I like that. Good job, UAD. Good job. Okay, let's automate this just so it comes on. The room mic comes on just in the turn in the outro. Let's see, I got the. Oh, wrong command. Let's see. Oh, where you go right here. You can automate buses as well, or automate sends and returns. You can automate anything in it, Tom. If you remember to turn it on, there we go. Oh, shit. I forgot to mute it. Motherfucker. Alright, go back and undo my bad mistakes. Did I take it? Oh, sweet. Okay. Scratch that. We're good.
Adam and Eve go like angels, only angles in her art. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare, sound to the fame and getting on the air. Like angels, only angels in her heart. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare, sound to the fame and getting on the air. Go make good what I've said by lying in some stranger's bed.
I like that. Cool. There's a bunch of other things you can do with this plugin too. You can use it to reamp drums. I don't feel like doing that. The drum sounds fine. You can do it guitars, other stuff. Definitely going to be using this more in the future on this project and future stuff. But yeah, money well spent. Okay, I'm long overdue for a nice walk outside. It is about time for me to depart. But one last bit of daytime NKS content. Let's go and work on just this first main vocal in the chorus. See what that could be. I was talking about last night how the key to making all these different vocal layers stand out is going to be like various kinds of saturation, maybe some reamping of some sorts. But just one stage at a time. Let's see what we can do to help to differentiate things. Starting with the main chorus background vocal scene right here.
Like angels, only angels in her heart. Like strangers, only partners playing parts.
Let's start with EQ. Good old fashioned EQ. Something to help it pop out.
Like angels, only angels in her heart. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare, sound to the finger getting on the air. Like angels, only angels in her heart.
A little low mids bump.
Like
Mids bump, excuse me.
like angels, only angels in her heart. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare, sound to the finger getting on the air.
Okay, so while we can't use any verb, we can use the smart version of reverb, which is delay. So I think a little bit of short delay on these first backing vocals could really help them differentiate, make them feel like they're like sitting a little behind the main vocal, make them stand out. Oh, what's on this channel? Oh, I put them there. Duh. Let me see. Let's use the big Echo Boy, not the junior. The big boy. Yeah, big boy. And let me think about it. Reverse in spaces. Let's try this. Let's put them both in solo and go like that.
Like angels, only angels in her art. Like strangers, only partners play.
It's not quite a short echo.
Like angels.
Oh, let me see. Slight tour? What does that mean?
Like angels, only angels in her art. Like strangers, only partners play.
That's a nice distortion, yeah.
Like angels, only angels in her art. Like angels.
Let's see, 100% wet.
Like angels, only angels in her art. Like strangers, only partners play parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare. Psalms with a vapor getting on the air.
The Echo Boy might be the one for all this. There's so many different kinds of like saturation styles you can pull out of it. It's always a really useful Swiss Army knife.
But it claimed. Like angels, only angels in her art. Like strangers, only partners play parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare. Psalms with a vapor getting on the air. Like angels.
If you're looking to invest, if you've never bought a plugin of any kind and you want to invest in something that could just help you with your musical projects, you could do a lot worse than the Echo Boy. It is truly, I mean, you've seen it a million times for a reason, but it's really, there's so much stuff you can do with it. And I'll start breaking down a couple of different things. You can do all kinds of reamping stuff, but it's such a Swiss Army knife for just like, if you're looking for a sound in your head, it's probably somewhere in this plugin. I use it all the time, really do. Scout's honor. So I think that's it though. I like it. Let's start from the top.
And see them changing what they hang. The plant they the South can finally make good on what it claimed. A simmer and a thought of what was angst. A beauty come make good on what it claimed. Like angels, only angels in her art. Like strangers, only partners play parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare. Psalms with a vapor getting on the air.
I like it. I really do. And already by virtue of adding the other vocals to the mix, I'm starting to see, how can I explain this? Because the other layers are, I'm not going to do any EQ work on the final vocal, any more EQ work until I know what I need to pull out of the main vocal. So I can already tell like the main vocal needs a little more top to make it pierce over this vocal. Maybe some subtractive EQ somewhere else, but you know, by adding these other, kind of like how we were using the main vocal to set where our background vocals need to come in out, we're eventually going to do the inverse where we have all of our backing vocals set and we know what we need to go back and change in the main vocal to make it sit against the other vocals. It's kind of like you're working from one end, then you work from the other end, then you're working from one end and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and you're just trying to like, sometimes to know the moves you need to make, especially with EQ, you need to know the context more than anything of what those moves need to be made against. Which sounds like a no-brainer, but trust me, I'm here to confess. I've tried to mix things in solo EQ-wise and fuck myself. Okay, I'm gonna go for a walk. Have a good Sunday. Well, come back. Afternoon NKS session. got about an hour before I need to start making dinner. So we're going to keep on keeping on, listening back to the mix so far. I love what I did here on the BVGs. Those sound good. I think, honestly, they might work on the rest of the BVGs. So let's see. Moving on to the second verse, I'm just going to slap everything I had on. Just duplicate it. Easy. And we'll see. Working on these now. See if it works.
Teasing days and who was made lame. The weed that ate the
I just like to say this song really finds its groove in verse 2. It really you start knocking your head to it. I'm really proud of this part. I feel like that might have been buried in the original mix, but you feel it, like you really feel it.
teasing days and who was made lame. The weed that ate the ground can finally make good on what it claimed. And what did it claim? Until I had him inside the bed.
Yeah, let's take that. Balance the. I think I ended up turning these up like a dB, negative 2.5. Make them the same.
Until I had him inside the bed. As a dichotomy, I feel great. Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin. I got desires and wishes against guilty ghosts. In the name of science, let's let Adam and Eve go. Like angels, only angles in her arm. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene gaining on the flare. Solemn to the fame and gaining on the air. Like angels, only angels in her heart. Like strangers, only partners.
Let's turn this part up here. This little segment. We'll just clip gain it. I want this one a little louder. 2 dB. Why not?
Like angels, only angels in her.
There it is. Cool. Excellent. Love it. Moving on. I love it when you work the first time, will probably work the second time. I don't think it's gonna work the same on these vocals. They're definitely different. So let's play it. Let's play it. Let's start back here.
Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin. I got desires and wishes again.
I don't mind the bleed here. It's kind of fun.
Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin. I got desires and wishes against guilt. I got desires and wishes against guilty ghosts. In the name of science, let's
I mean, it's mostly there. Let me see. Let me think about some more Echo Boy, maybe? Doesn't need any EQ, sounds fine. Let's see what else I got. Let's take a bit. I'm really feeling using this Echo Boy for not all the backing vocals. I like to use some of my speakers, speakers, the audio thing plug-in. But
I've got desire.
Let's just play around with presets. I'm pro presets if we haven't established that yet. I'm not anti presets. I think it's a stupid way to think.
I've got desires and wishes against guilty ghost.
Okay.
I've got desires and wishes against.
That's cool. I like that. Okay. A little verb. Short verb, not long verb. Short verb. Short verbs are cool. Long verbs not cool for this song. So, at least so far. It's kind of blowing it out. I really want some verb, but it's always just too much. Let's turn the verb down. We can do that. Oh, it's 100% wet? Well, that might be part of the problem. Oh, sorry. Main vocal muted.
Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin. I've got desires and wishes again.
Oh, it sounds really cool. Oh, I gotta make it work. I'm willing to bend the rules. Let's cut out a lot, like almost all the low end. See if that makes it a little more, less muddy. Actually, one more time. Let's solo this right here. I like this verb. I really do. If it's the spooky kind of vibe of the whisper vocals, we can make it work.
Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin. Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin.
I love what it's doing on the bleed.
Harrowing of hell inside of the.
Let me do it this way. I just want to see how much low end I need to cut on it. So we'll 100% wet it and then cut the low end down and blend it back.
Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin. Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin.
Out there?
Harrowing of hell inside of the.
Hmm?
Harrowing of hell. Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin. I've got desires and wishes against guilty ghosts. In the name of science, let's let Adam and Eve go.
I really like that. I think that's good. Maybe a little more wet. It's a little more. Turn the saturation up all the way. Cool. I think more than anything, Sound Toys really has it on lot. Sound Toys has some of the best presets. That's why I'm so pro presets. They have so many useful presets. I sit here and just flip through them all the time. Find one, then modulate it from there. Moderate it. What's the word? Change it. Okay.
Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin.
A little less saturation, just a dash left. And the way that the Echo Boy works is that there's a bunch of different kinds of essentially distortion circuits you can choose through. This one has more. Echo Boy Jr. has like 6 ones. This has a billion of them, but it's a little less saturation. The saturation knob does a lot in this plugin. It's very efficient and just like making it more dirty.
Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin.
That's it. I'll play through it.
Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin. I've got desires and wishes against guilty
done. BVGs are done. That's it. All right, moving on. Gang vocal time. Starting back from the beginning, which is this first chorus. First chorus. Let's see what we got.
Like angels, only angels in her heart. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare. Sounds with a vapor getting on the air.
They comp pretty good, honestly. It's already starting to fit together. There's a bunch of different ways I go with this.
Like angels, only angels in her heart. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare. Sounds with a vapor getting on the air.
Man, that sounds really good. All right, I got more distortions than I know what to do with, more gain stages, more tools to use, but I think, man, I got so much shit I could use. It doesn't need much, just a little bit of something to help it stand out. You know, I always love using speakers. Let's go back to this and just play around with it. You can do a wet dry in speakers too, so you can still have some of the original signal go through. But I'm excited. This is really coming together. All right, we'll just loop it.
Like angels, only angels.
That's not it. Let's cut the mic off. Let's just start working with the speakers.
Like angels, only angels in her heart. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare. Silence with a favor getting on the air. Like angels, only angels in her heart. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare. Silence with a vapor getting on the air.
It's too loud, but that's fine. That's easy. I like where this is going. I am really in a good mood. Got that.
Like angels, only angels in.
Truly, this is one of my favorite plugins I've ever bought. It is so useful to have a tool you can quickly simulate reamping through smaller speakers or different speakers just to give it different tone color, you know?
Like angels, only angels in her heart. Like strangers, only part.
All right, let's play around with the microphones. Two parts to this plugin. Controlling the sound of the audio coming out of something, a speaker, controlling, you can control the sound of it, like in theory being recorded, so the microphones, although I think you can use microphones, like I think you can use speakers, because you can use a speaker as a microphone too. No, you can't. It's only mics, but there's a bunch of mics. Look at all these mics on mics. Let's just run through them. Find one that, I don't know, just has that je ne sais quoi, that punch to it, you know? Let's go, if we're thinking punch, let's go dynamic first.
Like angels, angels.
It's not bad.
Like angels, angels.
Might be a 58. Let's see.
Like angels, only angels in her heart. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare. Sounds with a vapor getting on the air. Like angels, only angels in her.
Yeah, they're still too loud, but they mix well. They sound real good. Let's go back down like -4.
Like angels, only angels in her heart. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare. Silence with a vapor getting on the air. Like angels, only angels in her heart. Like strangers, only partners playing cards. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare. Silence with a vapor getting on the air.
Little bit of top end on it. Is there EQ in this thing I can use? You got a couple other little doodads you can mess around with. You can have this one where you have background noise. I never use it, but is it working? It's not working. It basically just makes like different kind of like background noises you can feed in. Cool for more ambient design. Not using that. Got a filter. I can use that as an EQ. Got a compressor. That sounds fine. And I guess you can also control, there's an independent distortion circuit too, right here, distortion. I just want these to pop out a little bit, and I think I probably just use this sweep filter right here to do that.
Like angels, only angels in her.
Particular harmonic I'm looking for.
Like angels, only angels in her. Like strangers.
Don't turn the resonant knob all the way up. I won't do that to you. I won't tell you why. Just don't do it.
Like angels, only angels in her.
10K.
Like angels, only angels in her. Like strangers, only partners play.
Ooh, that might be it. Let's see.
Like angels, only angels in her heart. Like strangers, only partners playing cards. Mary Magdalene getting.
Let's get some context. Let's go back to the first chorus. From the tip top. Learn new button. Press enter starts.
Seeing change in what they hang. The plant they hate the South can finally make good on what it claimed. A simmer and a thought of what was angst. A beauty come make good on what it claimed. Like angels, only angels in her heart. Like strangers, only partners playing cards. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare. Silence with a vapor getting on the air. Teasing days and who was made lame. The we day the growl can finally make good on what it claimed. Did it claim? So I head inside the bed. As a dichotomy I feel great. Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin. I've got desires and wishes against guilty ghosts. In the name of science, let's let Adam and Eve go. Like angels, only angels in her art. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare. Silence with a vapor getting on the air.
These can come up in the chorus. Let's automate that. Cursive. You dudes. Cursive. Good band. It's time for these babies to shine in the final chorus. Let's drop these up. Up these up? Let's boost these up 2 dB. Let's roll into it.
There's only partners playing parts.
Not that. -2.
Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene gaining on the flare, sounds with a fame are gaining on the air. Like angels, only those in her. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene gaining on the flare, sounds with a fame are gaining on the air.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Next up, Scream. The Screams. I got an idea for these. That idea is the Derelict, which is a plugin also made by Soundtoys. It's models this. What the fuck should I call it? It's like it's a particular piece of audio gear from the 80s. It's like some kind of like limiter made by Shure. I think that's what it's called. But essentially what it is a very, very mean kind of like compressor. And it's mean. It's called the Devil Lock, right? It's supposed to be mean. And, you know, it's really good for like parallel processing. You can parallel it though. You can do it. This is what dry knob. But I like it a lot when I'm doing stuff where I just want something to be aggressive. And it's a track called Scream, so it should be aggressive. So let's see what happens. Let's just kind of cycle this.
I bleed water like strangers in the garden. I brought you free.
That's mean sounding. Junk in the trunk. Okay. Yeah, let's go. All right, context.
Like angels, I bleed.
There's a darkness knob, which is essentially like a low pass filter. So we'll feed that one back because I want them too dark. You know, I want to poke out.
Like angels, like strangers, only partners.
That might work. It's too loud though. Same problem. It's kind of drawing. Since it's a counter beat melody, if you hear it too presently, it will knock out the sense of the timing of the song. It's fine how it is. Like the whole, I see what was being going for here, but you got to keep the listener focused on the main beat. That'll be easier when the drums kind of get worked on at the very last thing, but you know, preemptively driving the beat without having to touch the drums essentially.
Like angels, like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare, sounds with a fame and getting on the
Yeah. Yeah. I say confidently.
Mary Magdalene gaining on the flare, sounds with a fame and gaining on the air. Like angels, only those in her. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene gaining on the flare, sounds with a fame and gaining on the air. Go make good what I've said by lying in some stranger's bed.
Yeah. And I got an idea. Might be a bad idea. It's always me versus the scream vocal in this song, I'm realizing, more than any other element. I like it. It's just that it's been really hard to make it sit in its own pocket. It's been a bit of a challenge, but it's getting there. I would like to try another free plugin that I got from Universal Audio. This one is, what is it? Yeah, it just mimics a plate reverb, and it's cool. It's a cool plate reverb, and I think maybe just some I like this one because you can get real short with it, like use just the reverb time here, and you can get real tiny with it. Like angels, sounds good too. Oh my god. Like angels, I bleed water. Like strangers in the garden, maybe. I love this reverb. It sounds so cool, and it's very intuitive to use. I like it when plugins just look like the old tech. It's here's the knob to make it short or long, just make it intuitiveness. I love a plug. The more a plugin looks like a piece of gear, the more my brain's like, oh yeah, okay, I know what this is. Sounds with a flame beginning on the air. Like angels sowing those in less. It's so picky. It's so picky to get this to set. Like angels sowing those in like strangers only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the floor. Sounds with a favorite getting on the air. Yeah, I think it's good. Like angels. My goal actually is to turn up some, but I need to really get I think I'll keep a mental note of that. I think I'll come back to that after the drums get worked on. All right, we're almost there. Let's go over these vocals. These are just the extra vocals. Let's see if we don't have to do anything to them. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare. Sounds with a flame getting on the air. Like angels sowing those in. Ooh, yeah. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare. Sounds with a flame getting on the air. Like angels sowing those in. Like strangers only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the floor. Sounds with a favorite getting on the air. Yeah. Knock them clean. In fact, just a little bit of EQ on them so they'll poke out. I think it'll help to lead the rest of the choir. Let's see. Yeah. Not everything has to be distorted. In fact, if you can have some things be distorted and some things not be distorted, even better. It's all about contrast. All right, I'm going to use a little bit of the old dish and just maybe a little 3.5. I don't know. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare. Sounds with the flame getting on the air. Like angels sowing those in. Like strangers only partners play. Mary Magdalene getting on the flare. Sounds with the flame getting on the air. Like angels sowing those in. Like strangers only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene getting on the floor. Sounds with a favorite getting on the air. I got some ideas for this outro vocal, but I'll probably do that very last. I think we're getting there. I really do. Go back to the bridge.
In the name of science, let's let Adam and Eve go. Like angels, only angles in her art. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene gaining on the flare, silent with a fame and gaining on the air. Like angels, only angels in her heart. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene gaining on the flare, silent with a fame and gaining on the air. Go make.
Yeah, nothing bothers me. It's good. The last chorus is like a hallucinogenic experience with all the audio coming at you. It's wild. It's wild, which is good. It means I'm maximizing the emotion, but nothing bothers me about that. I'll take it. I'll take it. Word. Okay. It's dinner time. Time to hear the bell ringing and no one's going to make it but me. Bridge, I would like to put some kind of like delay vocal on the lead vocal here. We'll work on that. That'll be pretty easy. Kim's vocals be pretty easy. This outro idea, that'd be pretty easy. And that's gonna be it. Holy shit, I know. I'm really excited. Cool. All right, see you on the other side. And we're back. Nighttime in KS video. Stomach full. Ego on the up and up. We're almost done with these vocals. This video is actually not going to be 3 hours long, and I'm very thankful for that. I'm glad that I'm able to get this one just feeling good without trying too hard. Was listening back to the mix, like it so far. Had a no-brainer moment about this kind of offbeat scream vocal. Easy. I didn't even think about this. All I got to do to make it fit better in the mix is fade it in. Let's see, go to volume. Right here. I think by virtue of just having the scream fade in instead of like abruptly come in, the little like kind of off kilter thing that's driving me crazy, it won't be as abrupt. So just a little fade in, nothing wild. Check it out. There it is. Just, yeah, that's it. It just makes it not such an abrupt addition to the song. Kind of just cooks it in, and to my ears at least, makes it not such an abrupt rhythm change. Done. Easy. Moving on. Next up is back to the main vocal. Back to the main vocal for this next part. I just want the main vocal in the bridge to have something to give it some sauce, because it's the bridge, give it some scene change kind of vibes. It's the bridge. It's the fun part. Bridge is where the vibe changes. And I'm thinking, I don't know. Let's think like it's a little delay. We can try using the newest. There's a new plugin by Slate. Lead vocals U. It's basically it's like a roll-in tape echo, but it sounds really, really good. It is called a SD201. There you go. I don't know. I just want some flavor, maybe some modulation, maybe something like this. This thing doesn't have a lot of presets in it. Excuse me. Yet, so I kind of have to actually know what I'm doing. But I don't know. Let's just see what happens.
Inside of the heroin. Heroin of hell. Inside of the heroin.
That's not it. That's a little crazy. Oh, buddy. Let's see. Let's try something else. This is good. It's a good plugin, but I don't know. What am I thinking? I'm thinking delay. Old Faithful? Old Faithful. Going back to the repeater. It's another Slate analog delay model, an old one at this point, but still a goodie. And one of my favorites. About any I like this delay a lot because you can really fine tune it to how you want it. You can high low pass the delay, add color to it. It's just a good one. Good little stereo spreads here as well.
Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin.
Give me a loop on something. Already I can tell this is what I want. With maybe some chorus.
Harrowing of hell inside.
Wrong button. Let's see.
Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin. Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin.
Maybe? Not the telephone one, although I do like that. Let's go vintage delay.
Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin. Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin.
Longer delay time too, maybe.
Harrowing.
Check. Oh, it's because it's so low. Oh, I hate when that happens. Me versus trying to keep my blab microphone running.
Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin.
Yeah, right there. We'll dot at 8.5. All right. And this will only be on the bridge.
Harrowing of hell inside of.
Let's go. Spread B.
Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin.
Yeah, I like where this is going. Should be like a brighter delay. Maybe telephone was the right one. These are essentially just modeling different sort of devices for delay. Telephones being more telephonic, space delays, so on and so forth.
Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin.
Doesn't cut through. Let's try modern tape delay.
Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin.
I like that. We can ping pong it.
Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin. I got desire.
I don't like ping pong delays, I'll be honest. They're too nauseating. I don't really. If I'm making some dub music, possibly, but you tend to avoid them.
Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin.
Better. I wonder. Well, I'm thinking I want the feedback to hang around after the lyrics over. I'll demonstrate.
Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin.
But it's always easier said than done. I don't know why. I always have this problem with software delays where it's always harder for me to like take the feedback up and keep it from oscillating, but keep a piece of audio kind of trailing through. And for whatever reason, it's always easier on pedals. I don't know why that's the case.
Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin. I got desire.
Too much. Down the 20s. Even less. Vocal effects is a treat, but never walking over the main vocal.
Harrowing of hell inside of the heroin. I got desires and wishes against guilty ghosts. In the
barely any. Just a splash.
Heroin inside of the
Let me check.
heroin. I got desires and wishes against guilty ghosts.
Okay, that's cool. I just had to high pass out the bottom. It was getting in the way of the other vocal layers, but hopefully it won't down. Just kind of all low end. In context.
Heroin inside of the heroin. I got desires and wishes against guilty ghosts. In the name of science, let's let Adam and Eve go. Like
It'll be really cool because right after this bridge, it kind of turns down really low, so it's real like goes back to being intimate. So I don't know, I kind of like it. Okay, let us automate this little idea I got, and then we'll move on to the final set of vocals. Latch and check it out.
as a dichotomy, I feel great. Heroin inside of the heroin. I got desires and wishes against guilty ghosts. In the name of science, let's let Adam and Eve go. Like angels, only angles in her.
Nice, cool. All right, run it back. We'll start back at the second verse. I'm in love with this second verse now, man. This second verse. I haven't done the drum work on it yet, but this second verse just has that groove, man. It's got that just bounce to it. The lyrics are on top. They're just kind of rapping along.
Teasing days and who was made lame. The weed that ate the ground can finally make good on what it claimed. And what did it claim? Until I hit him inside a bed. As a dichotomy, I feel great. Heroin inside of the heroin. I got desires and wishes against guilty ghosts. In the name of science, let's let Adam and Eve go. Like angels, only angles in her art. Like strangers, only partners playing parts.
Okay, time for the very last vocal placement for this song, which are the Kim vocals, our dear friend Kim. I got some ideas for him, make them a little lo-fi, but just to start out, let's just put them in place, get them leveled matched to call and response to the main vocal, and we'll go from there. I already carved out this spot right over here, 10 o'clock. I think that's where they are originally in the first mix. It's just where they feel good, comfortable. So we'll roll with that.
Heroin inside of the heroin.
Yeah, they don't cut through very well. Same problem as last time. I could try turning them up, but it's not really a volume problem. It's just a presence problem. But I think that is going to be pretty straightforward. We're just going to use speakers once more. Speakers. There we go. Speakers. And I'm just going to get the right... We'll forego any sort of re-miking and just go for straight re-amping. And let's put this in solo for a bit. This is a culmination of the 4 vocals previously, so it's like a layer, but it's the same idea.
There's a blind left inside my head. There's a blind left inside my head.
That might be it. Feels right. Check in context.
Inside of the heroin.
That works. Let's just get some dry signal back into it, and I think that's really it. That's exactly what I was looking for. I was looking for something just to make it have clarity, essentially. It doesn't have clarity. It's kind of real muffled like that. I just want to do the opposite. So.
Inside of the heroin.
That's good. It's good. Now the inverse problem. It's a little too loud. That's fun. Better louder than quiet.
Inside of the heroin.
It needs a delay, for sure. Echo boy. So I'm going to keep it hanging in the air. It's a very slow, well, not slow, it's a very short piece in this bridge. So you need to kind of, I guess, keep it around. Something to keep it around. Going back to my old favorite trick of just using delays to keep things in the air for a while.
Left inside my head. There's a blind left inside my head. There's a blind left inside my head. There's a blind.
I like this one.
There's a blind left inside my head.
I don't know if it will work, but I like it. Let's see.
Out of the heroin.
Kinda, yeah, kinda. I think this is the rhythm-based delay in Echo Boy. It's a fun one. You can basically like just sort of create your own rhythms out of certain like timed pieces of audio. It's really fun. So I don't know, I kind of like it. Let's cut out a lot of low end though. A lot of low end vocal management in this song. Keep it from getting muddy.
Inside of the heroin.
I'm gonna keep it.
I've got desires and wishes against guilty ghosts.
Don't know if it works in this lyric though.
Inside of
I'm having deja vu. I feel like the last time I mixed the song, I had the same thing of like I put some delay on this one, it worked. I put some delay on this vocal, it didn't work. It's a weird feeling.
the
I can bypass it though.
heroin.
Let's cut the mix down too.
Against guilty ghosts.
I could just turn up again.
Inside of the heroin. I've got desires and wishes against guilty ghosts. In the name of science, let's let Adam and Eve.
Okay, yeah, it's just a quick and out. There's not a lot really to work with. There's not really much need for it. I don't think this delay will lurk. It will not lurk in the last chorus. I think it's just gonna get in the way. So I'll also bypass it at the turn. Let's see. Every time I never know what I'm looking for. Latch. Nope, that's not it, Jason. You. There we go. We'll see if the vocal distortion should work in the chorus. Just I don't think the delay will.
Like angels, only angles in her art. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene gaining on the flare, sound to the fame and gaining on the air. Like angels, only angles in her art. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene gaining on the flare, sound to the.
Okay, it didn't sound loud enough, but that's cool. I just automate that. Let's go back here. Well, it's only a dB. I'll do it this way. I'll just click it up. Like you can hear it. I can tell like the sound of it works. This needs to be louder. So we'll just turn this bit up. Like a decent amount. I want to be present. If I can click on the gain button, there we go. Goodness gracious.
Like angels, only angles in her art. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene gaining on the flare, sound to the fame and gaining on the air.
I should move it closer during this part. Let's see.
Like angels, only angles in her art. Like strangers, only partners playing.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll fold in the very last bit of this guest vocal. I like it over here during the bridge because it helps emphasize the call response, but towards the end kind of get a little more intimate. You know how it is. Gotta snuggle them up together. Like they're buds. All right. Go here.
Mary Magdalene gaining on the flare, sound to the fame and gaining on the air. Like angels, only angles in her art. Like strangers, only partners playing parts. Mary Magdalene gaining on the flare, sound to the fame and gaining on the air. Go make good what I've said. By lying in some stranger's bed.
By golly, I did it. Kinda. So that's the end of the video. I'm gonna play one last playthrough. There's a lot of stuff to do still on the mix bus. There's so much fun stuff you can do on mix buses. And also I need to do the final mix and the vocal. But before all that, I want to go back, work on the drums, get those done, and then I can focus on the mix buses. We can focus on the mix buses for everything not the main vocal, and the very last thing I work on in this song will be the main vocal. Rule of thumb with mixing, the last thing you mix on is the loudest thing in the song, and I want that still to be the main vocal. So, but that will be next video. So next video, final video, 3 parts. Final video will be drums, the bass is good, mix bus work, crossing all the T's, dotting the I's, and we'll be done. So yeah, pretty cool. Let's listen back though from the tip top, and yeah, thanks for watching.
And seeing change in what they hang, the plant they hate the South can finally make good on what it claimed. A simmer and a thought of what was angst, a beauty come make good on what it claimed. Like angels, only angles in her only partners playing parts.